That sounds cool. That sounds really good. So overall, Matt, you're giving it a huge thumbs up.
Oh yeah, it's a nice breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I suppose a lot of people in the UK are used to seeing the same stuff, like maybe the American product comes over
Hmm.
or your local one, but the Japanese style is very different. So a nice little contrast. And if you are feeling a little bored of perhaps the other promotions, then this is something to definitely check out.
Yeah, I hope they do come over again soon. Did they mention anything about that, or was anyone talking in the crowd that they're gonna
No,
when the next
I
one
think
would
I
be?
think it
Or
was such a huge success.
mm,
It's got to be obvious that they will come again because
mhm.
hopefully this could become an annual thing. Even I'd
Yeah,
be very up for that. If that was the case, I'd be going again.
yeah. I think most fans were always surprised that New Japan didn't make more of a presence. Before sort of the last few years, but because the only time we ever get to see them, Matt, is sometimes with Ring of Honor when they have some of their stars. But like, you just think how popular New Japan is in the UK. Like, there's a lot of UK talent that have been out there. Even the days where Pac was there, it was being very, very watched here by a fan base that wanted that alternative to WWE. And there you go, it was already existing. And so I do feel like it's better late than never. But I do feel like they have had a decent fan base here. I just think it's been about them sort of pushing it out there and being willing to sort of go out, take that little bit of risk to do it. So hopefully that will be the platform now for them to come over. And like you said, if they can do an annual show every year, I think it would only grow the more times they do that. I mean, let's not forget, there was AEW on that night. There was the whole thing with NXT. Don't know what WWE's game was there, if they were trying to get people over. And I just think that was just an unfortunate thing. But that's not going to happen every time. I mean, if WWE are going to keep doing that, it shows how desperate they can get. But I think New Japan, they're not always going to have those issues, quite frankly. Do you know what I mean? To contend with. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sounds really, really good. Jealous of you for not getting that one, I've got to say, on that. Of course, after that, Cardiff, Matt, NXT UK TakeOver happened, and what a different kind of show that was to what I was kind of expecting. I'll say that much. What did you make of it? Sort of summarising, Matt, like of the show. Obviously, Takeover. We've had a few of them from the UK, but this one certainly was being built a little bit more up now, and obviously a lot of the stars have a little bit more established with what they're doing on the weekly TV and stuff like that. Obviously, the main event, I think, speaks for itself, Matt. But we'd seen this before, of course, last year at Wembley. So we already had like a little preview of it. But I've got to say, the work rate and everything that went into that match was, first class. I mean, they definitely left it all out there. I'll say that much. But what did you make of the overall show, Matt, and the feeling? Obviously, Cesaro being there as well.
Oh yeah, that was a nice little surprise, wasn't it? Having Cesaro there. He put on a terrific match as well,
Yeah.
and he did good things for isn't it called now Dragunov? Is that what
Oh
they
yeah,
call
yeah,
it now?
Dragunov, yeah.
So, yeah, so that was great for him because I'm sure that's someone he wanted to work with
Hmm.
personally as well. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah,
Cesaro can have a good match with pretty much anyone on
yeah,
any
yeah.
given night. So that was good. I mean, the whole card in general surprised me. I mean, I know there's some good talent on there, but I didn't think that the mentality of the American NXT had reached the NXT UK
Hmm.
people yet. But they've got that now. They've got that mentality where they want to go out there and sort of prove themselves and show that they can put on a pay-per-view, which is easily something that can rival anything on the main roster. And they went out there and proved that because nearly every match had me engaged on this.
Yeah, there was some crazy chants going on in that one as well, through the night, as you'd expect at the NXT UK stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think when you saw the roster sort of on a well, not a pay-per-view, but a network takeover. I mean, it did go to show, I think, that at one time when you and I were there last year at the Royal Albert Hall, like, I felt like it was quite light. I felt like at this point they hadn't signed Walter, they hadn't signed a lot of other guys that are now there now, Matt. I mean, like, they just didn't have them at the time, and I felt like they were a little bit light. They didn't have enough established people, but now, you know, whether I mean, people will agree or disagree because they have sort of plucked a lot of these people out of, you know, all over the place. Like, it's difficult. You know, if you ask the question, Matt, have WWE made them better, or have they just brought in established indie stars on the UK scene that just, you know, everybody knows? It's a hard question to answer, and I'm sure there's sort of both truths on both sides of things. But in any case, Matt, I mean, they're working on the same hymn sheet now. I feel like this is as strong as it's ever been for that brand of NXT UK. And purely, I think they'll benefit more because of WWE's mentality in general, which is just, let's stockpile everybody we can get. So it's only going to get stronger, because it seems like if you're a wrestler, it doesn't matter where you're from, if there's a potential that someone else wants you, AEW mainly, you're probably going to get signed for the sake of it. So they are literally going to, you know, the strength that they're going to have now is through the roof. And I can't see it changing, quite frankly. So, yeah, I mean, my personal opinions, I thought it was, you know, I felt it was the best one they've done for a long time. And I think as far as an overall show, the best one anyway. But I mean, I think with the TV behind it, I think it certainly showed that they're able to do a nice payoff. Interesting with the chants that were going on. Are you watching Vince again? There was that sort of thing to it, and you know, I know that we love our own talent, but you know, all that means is they want a proper show here, which we've gone about so much. I don't think that'll ever happen, but you know, it's good. I mean, I think they can only grow from this and a little bit stronger. I would like to see them put, like the fact that Cesaro came was excellent, but I'd like to see a little bit more of that, where they sort of get established stars in with them. Like, they've got enough size of roster to do that every now and then, so that would help. And even if it's just like NXT guys as well that can do that with them, I feel like that'll help. Like, they need to do that more often, just interchange a little bit, because it can help both sides. But yeah, I thought overall fantastic show. Tag match was excellent. I mean, there was very little to sort of have a go at in those terms, and yeah, I think they knocked it out of the park like they always do, really, Matt. I mean, they showed what we can do, and it is different. That's the main thing. I think there is a difference between our style and even, say, NXT in a lot of ways. Like, there is a difference. So if you put a Pete Dunne match with Tyler Bate in an NXT TakeOver show, that's the one that everyone goes, oh crikey, I didn't, you know, that was very different to what we see. You know what I mean? Like, there is a kind of exclusivity that we have still in this country for wrestling. So and I think Triple H always harps on, doesn't he? He's like, our guys here seem to just learn a more mature way, whereas in the States it sort of comes a lot later on, sort of like in your early 30s. Whereas a lot of these guys, you know, they have been doing it since they were like, you know, 16 to 20, you know. That's their sort of youth is there. But in stateside, it's almost like you've got to be young 30s to sort of become anything there at the moment. So, yeah, I thought it was an excellent show. And then, of course, Matt, moving on from that, going back to Chicago, of course, the night before they had StarCast. The whole thing there was around CM Punk, Matt. That was the big thing. I don't know if you saw the video that he had out when the promotion video I sent you, where he was just sort of mucking around. Seems quite, I don't know, he seems more relaxed, Matt, like in that video. Like, he seemed more open to wrestling again for the first time for a long time. And yeah, I think everyone had fun with that. I think they did a very, very good job about making sure that fans were not to expect him on the show. Like, I think they did a good job of that on StarCast, that if anyone that saw it, because there was always probably that worry, I guess, for people like Tony Khan and Cody Rhodes, that if they have CM Punk the night before at Starcast, although it's not run by AEW, it's obviously the night before, they're in the same city, people are going to think, oh, there's definitely a chance he's coming, or he'll do something. Even if he's not wrestling, he'll show up. And then you've got those chants going on all night, which would have been a nightmare for anybody. But that never happened, which was quite shocking when you think about it, that it's in Chicago, that CM Punk was there. But it's almost like there was enough respect not to do it. But of course, if it's a WWE thing, they just can't wait to put it out there. If there's something that's boring fans or something they rebellion against, it's CM Punk. Let's chant that for as long as we can. But yeah, it was fascinating. I thought this show, I really liked it, but I did feel it was a bit long. I don't know what you thought, Matt, but I did feel like by the time we got to the main event, I was like, it's lengthy. Like I didn't want to see AEW fall into this trap of WWE's way of doing things, because I feel like that's where it can be completely unique. But I felt like by the time we got to that main event, and because they kind of split their main events up this time, they didn't do the old school way of doing it. I felt like I don't know, for me, it was just a bit too long. That's the only thing I have against this, because I think everything else was pretty decent and unique. I mean, that tag match, I mean, I thought, at one point I thought someone's going to die. You know, that's literally where I was going with this, because it was just, jeez, what could you, what can you possibly do that's going to knock it up? But yeah, they left it all out on the line for that match, didn't they?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like we said beforehand, if anyone's going to sort of innovate in a field that's where you think you've seen everything these days, it's going to be these four guys. And yeah, they lived up to that. They definitely had some ideas that people hadn't done yet. And I would be up for another match even. It's like you feel like you've seen it all, but no, that these guys continue to amaze and astound. And I just think there's no end to the sort of entertainment that they can bring.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, there was some nice things in there. Obviously, we had the match with. What did you make of the match between Pac and obviously Kenny Omega, like the replacement? We knew that, of course, Jon Moxley wasn't going to be on there. What did you make of this one, though, Matt?
Yeah, that was bizarre for me. I mean, yeah, of course, Pac, great wrestler, and I'm glad he's there now in AEW and putting on matches. But as a last-minute replacement, I was very shocked to see that he got the win.
Yeah.
I thought Kenny Omega was going to be, the sort of the flagship guy for AEW and be the one they built the company around. But so far, all he's done is lose. So it's a very interesting kind of scenario that they're playing with there. But I also think it's a bit of a genius one as well. Pac's a well-known guy, but having him go over on Kenny, that does no harm to Kenny. People still have massive respect for him. Everyone knows what Kenny's about. So I think it does a world of good for Pac to get the win on this. Yeah,
it's kind of weird because, like, in a mainstream American type thing, I guess Pac has more. He's probably more known to the casual fan, whereas Kenny Omega, I still feel like the only downside to it is that he, for the US fans, like to the sort of mainstream, everybody knows the myth of him, but they haven't seen probably the best of him just yet. But I'm hoping that they're holding out for the sort of TV stuff, and that's where we're going to see him like post all that. Maybe next year, 2020 is going to be the time to, drive and sail that ship in at the right time. So this might be, like you say, genius booking. And have the more established guys going over so that they're the ones being chased for now. I don't know. Would Jon Moxley have got the victory? Who knows? He may well have done. But I thought it was quite interesting. And the fact that they are taking wins and losses so seriously now, does bring sort of another sort of dimension to it, which I enjoy, by the way. I really do enjoy the fact that they're talking about that more. That's for sure. And again, the Cody match I thought was well done. I mean, better than I thought, I've got to say that much. A bit of Arn Anderson, Matt.
It was a bit that old school kind of throwback, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And even the way the story in the match was told, when you get this sort of interference on the outside, and then someone comes back you didn't expect to see, all of that was like very attitude-ish. I mean, they probably don't want to be compared to that, but